Part 50. Fantasy. After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 498. The elder of the Ye clan snorted coldly. He was a master at the Hunyuan saint level. He had a lot of means to save his life. At least he was not easy to fall in the middle. He stretched out his hand and made a move, and several monks from the Ye clan followed him. Then, when many forces behind them saw that the Ye clan was taking the lead, their hearts trembled, they gritted their teeth, and in a flash, they also chased them towards the Nightwish Mountains. The last group of people left were hesitant. What should we do? Go back or catch up? Nonsense, let's catch up first and then talk. They don't necessarily have to go to the middle, they can just adapt to the situation when the time comes. As soon as these words came out, they immediately received the support of many monks, and everyone flashed and disappeared into the Nightwish's mountain range. After a while, a group of people appeared outside the Nightwish's mountains again, but these people were he was much more decisive than before. He didn't think about it at all, and he didn't follow the traces of the people in front. As if he was not afraid of being blind, he disappeared into the Nightwish Mountains in a flash. As soon as he stepped into the Nightwish Mountains, Qin Hao felt when the surrounding environment becomes dark, it is obvious that the sunlight has been blocked for a long time. The Nightwish Mountains are full of lush greenery. Although the periphery is not considered a forest, there are many sparse trees and so on. In addition, the environment is very dark. If an ordinary person steps in, a wild beast appears in the bushes, and his life may be at risk. However, Qin Hao is a master in the late Deluo period, and his strength is not inferior to that of a saint. For him, his eyes he could see things in the dark just like it was during the day. Except for some of the demonic energy and interference, it did not affect his vision. As for the lush and steep trees, etc., he had the mind to explore, so naturally he did not need to open his eyes. Now, he can only see the front. When he lets go, everything within a radius of hundreds of meters is within his mental field of vision. Unless his cultivation level is better than his, or he has extremely powerful concealment techniques, how can he hide it? Can hold him back? In fact, Qin Hao's situation is much better than those monks. He said that the demonic barrier energy in the bushes of Nightwish Mountain is a huge trouble for the immortal cultivators, and they dare not touch the demonic barrier. Sometimes the way is blocked by demonic energy, and one has to use a mana shield to protect oneself from the invasion of demonic energy. But Qin Hao is not so troublesome. He is the same body of immortal and demon, and his own demonic energy is mixed with the demonic energy. They are both demons, but they have a lot in common. He is not afraid of the invasion of demonic energy. Even if he hadn't come here to save Master Feng Haikao, Qin Hao would have really wanted to collect some demonic energy. That ancient magic technique among them, there are also some powerful methods, which are to refine the demonic barrier energy into oneself, enhance one's own power, and exercise the body. There are also some methods to refine the demonic barrier energy into magic weapons, etc., which are full of evil and powerful. In short, this devilish barrier energy is for the ancient demonic path, it is actually a wonderful thing. But because of the trouble of collecting it, Qin Hao does not dare to waste time on it. So when he encounters the demonic barrier energy, he can only suck a few greedily, then leave in a hurry and continue moving forward. On the way. Roar! 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 Qin Hao was searching his mind and suddenly noticed a ferocious beast from his mental field of vision. As if he had been noticed, the ferocious beast roared and jumped out, only to see a red beast. It's as beautiful as a tiger, with flames all over its body. It's so gorgeous. The red flame tiger. Qin Hao smiled slightly and disagreed. The red flame tiger is just a golden elixir stage ferocious beast, but it's still a star level ferocious beast. To Qin Hao, it's really too unchallenging. But don't give up the demon pill that comes to you. Qin Hao stretched out his hand and directed a sword of true energy to kill the red flame tiger. At Qin Hao's level, he is so powerful. You Scarlet Flame Tiger couldn't resist at all, and was pierced by the finger sword in an instant and died. This Scarlet Flame Tiger was only in the Golden Core stage, so it was naturally impossible to escape from nascent soul. However, Qin Hao was not polite and reached out to grab him. The perverted flesh body that was far beyond the Hushin Lingbao directly penetrated the red flame tiger, took the golden elixir into his hand, and put it into the storage space. His movements were extremely skillful. However, during this process, Qin Hao always maintained a state, that is, using a magic shield to cover himself and the red flame tiger. However, he is also cautious, knowing that ferocious beasts are extremely sensitive to the smell of blood. If these ferocious beasts smell the bloody smell of the red flame tiger, more ferocious beasts will be attracted. However, his whereabouts are exposed, and the gain outweighs the loss. After taking the golden elixir, Qin Hao turned his palm and revealed a ball of black and white flames, which was the Lianji pure fire. The Lianji pure fire was indeed extraordinary. When it fell on the red flame tiger, the tiger that was originally burning like a fierce flame was instantly reduced to ashes by the Lianji pure fire. Even the smell of blood was eliminated by the Lianji pure fire. Qin Hao then took back the magic shield, and then continued to move forward as if nothing had happened. For a long time, Qin Hao followed the route described by Zhang Li and encountered many ferocious beasts. However, these ferocious beasts were only at the nascent soul stage, and even some were at the golden core stage. Qin Hao smiled bitterly in his heart. These ferocious beasts really had no brains, and with such little cultivation, they dared to take the initiative to provoke him. Qin Hao was not polite and waved his hand to destroy them. Naturally, those in the golden elixir stage will not be wasted. They go to the golden elixir and then smelt it. As for those below the golden elixir stage, they will be reduced to ashes with a burst of Lianji pure fire. After all, it was the first time to step into Nightwish's mountain, so Qin Hao followed the principle of caution. I was cautious at first, but for 3 or 4 days in a row, the ferocious beasts I encountered were all low-level ones that could be destroyed with a wave of my hand. After roughly judging that the periphery of the Nightwish mountain range was indeed filled with low-level ferocious beasts as the legend said, Qin Hao felt relieved and began to let go of his hands and feet in pursuit of speed. He was not polite. Anyway, these ferocious beasts on the periphery posed no threat, let alone catching up with him in terms of speed and time constraints. If he left earlier, Feng Haikao might have more hope of survival. Therefore, Qin Hao was not polite and hurried on as fast as he could control the flying sword, hoping to get out of the periphery of the Nightwish Mountains. This was a bitter experience for all the powerful forces who were quietly following Qin Hao. The most powerful one among them, the Hunyuan Saint, was indeed extraordinary. But in terms of speed, at least the currently known master is Qin Lan, the ancestor of the Qin family, and Qin Hao is confident that he can beat him. So when these people waited until Qin Hao reached full speed, none of them could keep up with the rhythm. But they had to chase after Qin Hao desperately for the immortal mansion and the chaos spiritual treasure, and 1 or 2 blind eyes kept popping up on the road. The ferocious beast is really miserable. Fortunately, although the millions of miles of Nightwish Mountains are majestic, they are not infinitely wide. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 499. At least the distance from the outside to the middle is only 1,000,000 miles. At Qin Hao's speed, it took him several days to reach it at full speed. And those major forces who followed Qin Hao quietly saw that Qin Hao had indeed stepped into the middle. They all hesitated for a while, but they made up their minds. If they want to follow Qin Hao, they must at least find the immortal mansion and the chaos treasure. In fact, there is no absolute division for the Nightwish mountain range. Where is the middle, where is the periphery, and where is the inner periphery? But this Nightwish mountain range is a strange thing. His mystery can no longer be traced. The only thing that is known is that he has mysterious restrictions, and he can first restrain the ferocious beasts within. Otherwise, in the past thousands of years, the entire Hunyuan ancient world has been undergoing changes, with heroes vying for the throne, and the world of cultivation declining and rising. If the ferocious beast of the Nightwish Mountains wants to get involved, it is naturally not impossible. Even with the current situation and decline of the world of cultivation, it would not be impossible if the legendary king in the Nightwish forest raised his arms and wanted to unify the entire ancient world of Hunyuan and trample human beings under the feet of ferocious beasts. Some people say that this is because of the ban imposed by the Nightwish Mountains, while others say that it is because of the mysterious sea of winged dragon sand that competes with the ferocious beasts of the Nightwish Mountains. No matter what kind of legend it is, at least Qin Hao can now prove that there are really restrictions in the Nightwish mountain range. Just now he stepped into the Nightwish Mountains, and he felt that there was a huge difference between the aura of the peripheral Nightwish Mountains and the aura in the middle, in terms of intensity. In addition, before coming here, Zhongli also told him about the peculiarities of the Nightwish's mountain range, and Qin Hao was able to conclude that the Nightwish's mountain range indeed had restrictions as in the legend. At least the periphery and the middle are already like two completely different restricted spaces. Moreover, the ferocious beasts on the outside are always weak, the ones in the middle are slightly stronger, and the ones on the inside are the strongest. This made Qin Hao wonder if the ban had any restrictions on ferocious beasts, so those powerful ferocious beasts could only survive in the inner periphery. However, in contrast, the spiritual energy in the inner circle is also the strongest. At the very least, Qin Hao could feel that the aura in the middle was more than 10 times richer than the aura in the periphery. It seems that the Nightwish mountain range is indeed a mysterious existence. Qin Hao sighed slightly in his heart, but did not hesitate at all. Following Zhang Li's words, he had not come back to the Nightwish Mountains for a month. He was not dead, but trapped. He was trapped by the mysterious formation. Live. At first, there were rumors that there was an immortal mansion and a chaos treasure in the Nightwish Mountains. The monks were so shrewd that they would not believe groundless rumors. But the rumors were not groundless. There was a stone tablet standing outside Han City. There is also a road map from the entire Nightwish mountain range to the immortal mansion. Before going there, Zhongli didn't believe it, but it was related to the interests of the Qin family, so he had to give it a try. So, following the road map, Zhongli walked all the way, and it could be said that he passed 5 levels and killed 6 generals, but was trapped by a mysterious formation. Seeing the power of that formation, Zhongli believed the authenticity of the news and rumors. After all, that such powerful formations are naturally not something ordinary people can arrange. According to Zhongli's guess, those formations should be a test for those who have received the inheritance of the immortal mansion on the route. As for those spies who did not go back, they may have been these formations were trapped, not fallen. That's why Qin Hao came to the Nightwish's mountains, hoping to have a glimmer of hope to rescue the trapped Feng Haikao. Of course, if he could get the inheritance of the immortal palace by the way, Qin Hao would not refuse. After all, who would think that he has too many good things? Following the map instructions given by Zhongli, Qin Hao walked cautiously. He also heard about the Deluo period and the Hunyuan period in the middle. Ferocious beasts are rampant, and if you encounter one at random, it is either the Tai stage or the Deluo stage. No matter how powerful Qin Hao is, it is impossible to easily defeat the Deluo stage. As for the Hunyuan realm, if it is a star, if it were a moon-level beast, Qin Hao could tie with him. If it were a moon-level beast, Qin Hao would have to run for his life. If it were a sun-level beast, Qin Hao would have to use his trump card. After all, in terms of true strength, Qin Hao it may be comparable to the peak of Hunyuan, but his real cultivation level is only that of the early De Luo, and his magic power is comparable to that of the late De Luo. Qin Hao is not a timid person, otherwise he would not dare to come to the Nightwish Mountains. But, at this moment, he felt that there were hundreds of powerful auras along the way, and even half of them were comparable to the masters of the Hunyuan period. Even Qin Hao had to secretly tell him not to encounter fierce beasts. If he is entangled, he will be exposed. As the saying goes, Qin Hao is just unlucky. Roar. No, vicious beast. Qin Hao's mind covered the front, and he was cautious and instantly felt the presence of the ferocious beast. At the same time, the ferocious beast also noticed him, roared, and roared out. Qin Hao could see at a glance that half of the ferocious beast's body was covered with wounds. The bushes covered his body, but Qin Hao could still see that the size of this ferocious beast was really not small. It was at least bigger than 3 or 4 Qin Haos. It looked like a rhinoceros. Yes, it was a rhinoceros. On the mouth there is also a sharp barbed blade, but it is natural. There are also 3 sharp barbs on the back, like a trident, which is very powerful. Iron halberd rhino. Qin Hao is a descendant of both immortals and demons. At least he has a lot of experience. He recognized at a glance that this guy is the Iron Halberd Rhino, a star-level peak ferocious beast known as unparalleled power. The Iron Halberd Rhino is extremely powerful and brutal. It is extremely powerful, and the most powerful thing is that it has weapons on its mouth and back, which is really powerful. However, generally these tank-shaped beasts are clumsy, but Qin is good at both speed and strength. Hao's strength. Therefore, if Qin Hao uses his speed, it will not be difficult to kill the Iron Halberd Rhinoceros. But at this moment, Qin Hao can't laugh. Because this Iron Halberd Rhinoceros is a star from the Great Luo period. Super peak ferocious beast. Qin Hao's strength is comparable to the peak of human beings in the early Hunyuan period. How can he be the opponent of this Iron Halberd Rhinoceros, which is known as the star-level invincible in the Hunyuan period? Maybe he has been with him for a long time. Qin Hao Haoneng found an opportunity to kill him. But as long as he is entangled with him and cannot kill him in a short period of time, Qin Hao will be surrounded by more and more ferocious beasts, and then the real big leak will come to Qin Hao. Hao was depressed in his heart, but he didn't expect that he would be so unlucky. However, the Iron Halberd Rhino ignored whether he was depressed or not. He straightened his mouth and rushed towards Qin Hao. It must be said that the speed of the De Luo stage ferocious beasts, it was really fast, although it was not as fast as Qin Hao. However, it made all the major forces hiding in the distance frightened and ashamed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 500. No, you can't fight with this guy, otherwise if you are restrained, you may provoke more ferocious beasts in a while. Qin Hao frowned and ducked, but he avoided it deftly. At the same time, his speed exploded and he rushed forward. Even the rhinoceros and even the major forces behind saw it, and they also jaw-dropping. This guy looks like he is only in the late stage of De Luo. How come he is so fast? Even the ferocious beasts in the Hunyuan stage cannot catch up with him. It was also Qin Hao who underestimated the Iron Halberd Rhinoceros, the ferocious beast in the Hunyuan stage. Duan is a thing that accepts death, and the ferocious beast is so advanced that its intelligence is even equal to that of humans. This Iron Halberd Rhinoceros is in the Hunyuan stage, and its current intelligence has increased to almost that of humans. Coupled with his brutal character, accept death. Now I have finally encountered Qin Hao. This guy ran away when he saw me. He is obviously a weakling. If he escapes from the palm of his hand, he will be really embarrassed. In the future, let Anu and Hua the cats and the others saw how they still had the face of their boss. The interstellar beast was already humiliated, but if it happened again, the rhinoceros would not be allowed to live. Roar! 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 The iron-halberd rhinoceros roared with anger. And suddenly this jungle was about to move. Even Qin Hao himself felt that dozens of auras were gathering here, but they were all from the Deludo stage. Thinking of ferocious beasts will give rise to wisdom, and this iron-halberd rhinoceros with a roar, many Deludo stage ferocious beasts attacked him. But Qin Hao also knew that something was wrong. He was probably inspired by the iron-halberd ferocious beast and summoned his men to jointly deal with him. Damn it, I still underestimated this guy. There were people blocking the road in front of him, soldiers chasing after him, and ferocious beasts on the left and right. Qin Hao suddenly became anxious, his speed exploded to the extreme, and he just rushed forward. If that ferocious beast really dared to come forward, he would just give it a try. With my own strength, I put on the middle-grade Yuanling weapon glove and beat him with one punch. After all, I now have the strength of the Hunyuan stage to deal with the ferocious beasts of the Deludo stage. If I do it with all my strength, I don't even care about it. Will the smell of blood attract more ferocious beasts? Just rush out and you should be able to do it. Roar! The ferocious beast blocking the road in front roared, as if it had already seen Qin Hao fall into its mouth. It opened wide. With his mouth, he bit down on Qin Hao. Go to hell, you beast! As soon as Qin Hao punched out, a white light flashed before his eyes, and the beast in front of him suddenly disappeared. And his whole fist seemed to be punched into the void. He almost lost his strength, and Qin Hao rushed out. Xiao Qinzi, have you forgotten me, Xiao Bai? It turned out that the white light at that moment was Xiao Bai's sudden appearance, which directly swallowed up the ferocious beast. In fact, Xiao Bai's strength at this time was only comparable to Qin Hao. It is said that it is impossible to easily deal with that ferocious beast. But Xiao Bai is a divine beast, so with the help of the divine beast's identity to suppress this ordinary ferocious beast at that moment, Xiao Bai took the opportunity to swallow up the great Ludo stage ferocious beast. Thank you, Xiao Bai. Qin Hao smiled bitterly in his heart and was sincerely grateful. At that moment, if Xiao Bai hadn't taken action, he would have punched up and attracted countless ferocious beasts. It would probably be more difficult to walk in the middle of the Nightwish Mountains in the future. But at this critical moment, he even forgot his trump card. Brother Rhino, let's go. Qin Hao's speed increased, and he did not forget to turn around and smile at the rhinoceros that had given birth to wisdom, which seemed to be a mockery. It was rushed out of the encirclement by Qin Hao, but the iron-halberd rhinoceros could not figure out how Qin Hao solved it. His subordinates. But he had no intention of thinking about it at the moment. The prey ran away, and the iron-halberd rhinoceros roared, and the magic power condensed by the beast's energy smashed through the bushes wantonly. Poof! Suddenly, a man hiding in the distance. The monks from all the powerful forces were beaten up. Iron-halberd Rhino instantly discovered the humans among them. He smiled proudly and set his sights on these new humans. Even the anger just now was released with a roar. Dozens of Deludo stage ferocious beasts pounced directly on the bushes where the monks were hiding. Roar! 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 Soon there were roars of ferocious beasts and the strong smell of blood, right here. There was a noise in the bushes, attracting countless ferocious beasts to watch. It was obvious that their target was the iron-halberd rhinoceros. Let's talk about Qin Hao. With the help of Xiao Bai, he finally got rid of the useless rhinoceros. The iron-halberd rhinoceros is comparable to human wisdom. Qin Hao saw the power of this ferocious beast that gave birth to wisdom, but he did not dare to downplay these ferocious beasts, and acted more and more cautiously. He did not know what the founder of this immortal mansion was thinking. Qin Hao followed the map on the stone tablet provided by Zhang Li, and the further he went along the way, the more clearly Qin Hao realized that there were more and more auras of powerful ferocious beasts around him, which was like going deep behind the ferocious beasts. The base area is general. He actively threw himself into the encirclement of the ferocious beasts. Because it was just a map and did not say how far it was, even Qin Hao was not sure, so he could only walk cautiously. Fortunately, after the bad luck happened last time, Qin Hao's luck seemed to be much better, but he never encountered any ferocious beasts along the way. Even so, the endless aura of powerful ferocious beasts along the way made Qin Hao have a strong interest in this place known as the three major beasts in the ancient world. One of the dangerous places. The Nightwish Mountains, a paradise for ferocious beasts, has a new understanding. Sure enough, there are many ferocious beasts, and there are even more powerful ferocious beasts. I am afraid that either this ferocious beast has walked out of the Nightwish Mountains, or it has flattened the entire primordial era. The world is not impossible. Qin Hao thought to himself, but he didn't dare to relax at all. He was walking by himself, and suddenly, the scene in front of him changed, and Qin Hao felt vaguely familiar. But he didn't pay too much attention, just let's go. After a while, Qin Hao suddenly realized that this was not the place he had just walked. Could it be that the Nightwish Mountains really had a similar path? Qin Hao was not stupid. He made a thought and found a way on that bush. He carved a mark and continued to move forward. Within a moment, he saw this familiar place. The most important thing was a deep mark on the bush, which was extremely clear. Are we lost? Qin Hao was confused, and then shook his head again. No, for me, it is impossible to get lost. Yes, it is a formation, a confusion formation. Qin Hao has studied the formations, so he naturally knows that there is a maze formation in the illusion formation, and it is a trap formation. Moreover, when he came here before, Zhang Li also said that he encountered a lot of things along the way. The formation. And what trapped him was the formation. So he guessed that everyone was trapped in the formation. Now Qin Hao directly concluded that he must have stepped into the formation. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 501. No wonder even Uncle Zhang Li said that the formation was powerful and completely irrelevant. Sure enough, even I didn't know anything about it, but when I got deep into the formation, I suddenly didn't know it. This formation is definitely powerful. Qin Hao secretly thought in his heart, but he was thinking about how to break the formation. The way of the formation is to use the formation base as a supplement, and with the help of the power of heaven and earth, it also shows the power of heaven and earth. And this confusing formation is no exception. However, ordinary formations and formations are based on magic weapons, while powerful formations and formations are based on all things in the world. Everything can be used for my use. And this formation in the Nightwish Mountains, it's so powerful that Qin Hao is deeply involved in it, but he still doesn't know. This shows how powerful this formation is. According to the current situation, the formation in the Nightwish Mountains is obviously extremely powerful, with all things in the world and even these bushes and grass as its basis. The base of the formation integrates everything into nature. Even with Qin Hao's formation cultivation at this time, it is difficult to capture the trajectory. Xiaobai, it's up to you this time. Xiaobai is a mythical beast, needless to say his acuity. Qin Hao was not polite and directly regarded Xiaobai as the key to breaking the formation. Haha, for such a small thing, just watch me, Xiaobai, show off his power. It's also because Qin Hao recently enjoyed serving Xiaobai, a big stomach king, in the Qin mansion. It may also be because he knows that many of Qin Hao's so-called delicious promises have not yet been fulfilled, so Xiaobai no longer has hope in him. This time, Xiaobai surprisingly, he didn't take the opportunity to blackmail him, but agreed directly. In a flash, he submerged into the bushes, looking for the base of the formation of all things. Qin Hao kept waiting, but did not dare to take a step. This maze of formations is very interesting. He may lose himself. If he goes to other places, Xiaobai cannot find him, and the two of them disperse. Qin Hakan has the formation skills, but cannot find the formation base. But Xiaobai can't find it. The base of the formation cannot be broken, so naturally there is a man and a beast crying. Xiaobai's skills are really impressive. Qin Hao didn't wait long in the bushes. With a flash of white light, Xiaobai when he appeared, he found one of the formation bases, and immediately led Qin Hao to break the formation. The method of formations pays attention to the appropriate position, which coincides with the trend of heaven and earth. Therefore, each formation base has a certain influence on the formation. The formation is crucial. Qin Hao followed Xiaobai to find the formation base and broke the formation base. In an instant, the entire confusing array lost the support of the formation base, and the entire illusory array collapsed. At that moment, it was Qin Hao also felt that the entire surrounding space seemed to be different. However, this maze array was based on the bushes and grass in the Nightwish Mountains. When one array base was destroyed, these array bases collapsed. It was originally hidden deliberately. The shrubs and so on were exposed, and the shrubs and grass that originally seemed sparse have become much denser. Obviously, this formation is really extraordinary. There are so many formation bases, and the extra ones are the formation bases of the formation. If Qin Hao, with his current level of formation cultivation, is confident that he will never reach this point. Legend has it that there are two realms of formation, one is from the most simple to the most complex, and the second is from the most complex to the most simple. First, the latter is the simplest, that is, from the few to the majority of the formation bases. The more formation bases, the more complex the formation. There are even many complex formations. Destroying one formation base cannot break the entire formation. For example, some combination formations are to integrate several formations into one. At least with Qin Hao's current formation level, it is far from possible. As for the second type, it is based on the first one. The formation bases go from more to less, and finally the formation is simple, but the formation calls itself space. Of these two realms, the first formation completely borrows the power of heaven and earth, and can be said to exert the power of heaven and earth to the extreme. The second type is based on this basis, breaking away from the category of formations relying on the power of heaven and earth. Instead, it creates its own momentum, claiming to be space. It is so profound that it can even transform the universe in a moment. Of course, this is only an analysis of the realm of the formation, and the specifics are according to King Yan. There are only 2 or 3 people in the entire immortal Shura world who can truly achieve the second type of self-proclaimed space. As for the legendary burst of transformation, it is a legendary existence, but it has never existed. I have seen it before. But think about it, if someone really succeeds, the whole world will be directly replaced by someone else's formation. I am afraid that such a person has transcended the world, and there is no need for any formation to help. Qin Hao and Xiaobai join forces after breaking through the maze. I was even more cautious along the way. I don't know what the person who left the inheritance of the immortal mansion was thinking. Not only were ferocious beasts roaming around along the way, but I also had to be careful of hunters' traps. Qin Hao couldn't laugh or cry every time he thought about being hunted by hunters and wild beasts at the same time. In this case, I am really confused as to who I am, being hunted by both the hunter and the prey at the same time. Qin Hao was depressed, but also a little happy. At least, Zhang Li once said that based on his experience, when formations begin to appear, it means that the trapped person is not far away. After all, Zhang Li only managed to get through 2 or 3 formations before being trapped by them. Although he was not trapped with everyone, he still treated others according to the same principle. Thinking that Master Feng Haikao might be trapped in a formation nearby, Qin Hao suddenly felt hopeful. It would be best if all the formations come out, and then you can show off your power and break them one by one, so you don't have to search so hard. But thinking about it again is not reality after all. Qin Hao still had to go down to earth step by step, as if even God thought so, otherwise the sincerity in his heart would not be realized. Call out! Call out! Call out! Qin Hao had just taken a step forward when suddenly sharp sword energy fell from all around and greeted Qin Hao. Hiss! Qin Hao was shocked. At the critical moment, he used the Flying Thunder God's shadow body technique and finally managed to dodge. Looking at the unharmed underground, it seemed as if the attack just now was not enough to destroy even a single bit. But the fierce sword energy that continued to attack made Qin Hao understand that this was another formation, and it was a killing formation. Hateful! Qin Hao frowned, wanting to test the power of this formation. Relying on his physical strength, he even wore the acquired Lingbao glove and punched the sword energy with his hand. Boom! Qin Hao's fist was numb, but the sword energy was destroyed by Qin Hao. Looking at the slightly dimmed gloves, Qin Hao frowned. Good guy, this formation is so powerful. A mere sword energy can actually resist him. Xiaobai, go find the formation base. The name of the killing formation is indeed extraordinary, but Qin Hao can only support it by himself. Xiaobai has been looking for the formation base for dozens of days. Qin Hao is a little numb, and he doesn't even know whether he should go on. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 502. Even though Qin Hao has a strong will, it only takes a few dozen days, but it is longer than his previous life. Qin Hao didn't know how many formations he had fallen into over the past few dozen days, and he had never counted them. But with just these dozens of days of breaking formations, Qin Hao found that his formation cultivation was already powerful enough to be able to arrange 2 or 3 complex formations. Always be on guard against surprise formations, phantom formations, killing formations, trapping formations, etc., which seemed to be endless. It was shown on the map that this was the only distance left, but every step he took was filled with several formations, making it almost difficult for Qin Hao to move forward. The most terrible thing is that Qin Hao didn't even touch a living person after falling into countless formations. If it were in the past, Qin Hao would definitely think that he had carried his luck home, but now he is numb. Even his will, which had strengthened to an unknown extent, was on the verge of collapse. There was always a dream-like thought in his heart that he said to Qin Hao. Give up, those people are dead, and so is Feng Haikao. But Qin Hao's persistent heart always holds an obsession and refuses to let go, telling himself, keep at it, no matter what the result is, at least if you try hard, you will not regret it. Qin Hao was struggling painfully in his heart. At this moment, it was really hard to move even an inch. Boom! 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 Suddenly, a powerful aura emerged from Qin Hao's body, and the nascent soul in the upper middle dantian seemed to have taken some medicine. The grey-white Tai Chi that had not appeared for a long time, the picture suddenly appeared, and the nameless demon in Qin Hao's heart that was about to turn into a fire of karma was instantly extinguished as if a basin of cold water had been poured on it. Yes, as long as I have done it and worked hard, I can't regret it. Haha, what a demon-killing array, how can you do anything to me, Qin Hao? Qin Hao laughed as if he had figured it out. Suddenly, the invisible void suddenly shattered layer by layer. The road that originally seemed to be paved with layers of formations suddenly became different. It turns out that this, however, Qin Hao encountered a big trouble. It turned out to be an unprecedented large-scale composite formation. For dozens of days, Qin Hao kept breaking the formation, but kept falling into the formation, but the composite formation was there are just small formations under the law. Moreover, As Qin Hao breaks more and more formations, he unconsciously falls completely into this formation. It must be said that this formation is indeed a compound formation. The method is quite powerful. It can be said that it combines the characteristics of inner demon, phantom killing, and so on. At the last moment, Qin Hao's powerful and perverted will almost failed to hold on. If it weren't for the mysterious Tai Chi diagram in Qin Hao's upper dantian, the sudden appearance awakened Qin Hao, who was about to be triggered by his inner demons. He was probably going to fall into the inner demons of the formation and be unable to extricate himself this time. Thinking of the power of this formation, while Qin Hao was still frightened, he felt suddenly enlightened. The mood that was originally depressed because of this difficult road recovered in an instant. No matter the formation, there is an end after all. If you are really perseverant, just keep going, one day you will definitely be shattered. With this thought in his heart, Qin Hao, but he was no longer discouraged. However, Qin Hao was so proud that he even didn't know what was happening in the game, but he didn't realize it. After he broke the super large composite formation, what a change it caused. The man who was originally tracking Qin Hao, however, the major forces were chased by the iron halberd rhinoceros. After all, they dared to break in, but they all had some means to save their lives. After a third of the monks fell, some monks finally fought their way out and escaped to heaven. However, because of the pursuit of the iron halberd rhino, they lost the trace of Qin Hao. As a last resort, they all escaped and returned to the periphery of the Nightwish's mountain range. Even so, these people represent including the Ye clan of Kanglong Kingdom, the Ming clan of Yan Kingdom, the Su clan, Nanming clan, Xiao Mansion, Chang clan, Yun clan, Qianlong Mountain clan, and Yuanyao Valley clan of Liulai Kingdom. Wait. Now it's about the immortal mansion and the chaos spiritual treasure. Whoever can get it will definitely become the absolute #1 master. When the strength is gained, the entire Hunyuan ancient world will be within the palm of his hand. So, the representatives of these various forces were naturally determined not to give up. So they just stayed here and waited. For several days, the entire Nightwish mountain range was as silent as a bay of stagnant water. The patience of these people was about to be worn out, and a powerful momentum suddenly came from the entire Nightwish mountains. At the same time, a golden light passed over the Nightwish mountains and fell into everyone's eyes. It looked like a fairy. Appearance. The immortal mansion was born. Everyone was shocked when they saw that the golden light was the shadow of an immortal mansion. But looking at the location of the immortal mansion, it was evident that it was deep in the middle of the Nightwish mountains. It is the place where the ferocious beasts of the Hunyuan stage and the ferocious beasts of the Deluo stage gather. Thinking of the previous encounters, these people are all stunned. If you fight, the immortal mansion is right in front of you, with countless treasures in it. As the saying goes, wealth can be found in danger, fight come on. These forces are not stupid enough yet, and none of them can bear to give up. They send people to Han City to convey the news to all races. After hearing the news about the birth of the immortal mansion, the armies of all races set off, but they were prepared to spend a lot of money, even if they crossed the middle of the Nightwish mountains. On the other hand, the people sent by the Qin family followed the major forces and quietly penetrated into the Nightwish mountains. After all the hard work, a few of them were lucky enough not to fall into the formation and die, and were about to hesitate whether to go on. The powerful fluctuations that suddenly appeared above the Nightwish mountains and the virtual scene of the birth of the immortal mansion shocked these people. Quick, inform the clan leader, inform the ancestors, this immortal mansion is really about to be born. The immortal mansion is about to be born, but these people can't stand it anymore. Where can they go on? Let's go and convey the news to the clan first. On the other hand, Qin Hao has broken the formation since after that, the path of the entire Nightwish mountains following the map seemed to be much smoother. During this period, except for the occasional encounter with one or two ferocious beasts, there was no obstruction from the formation. This made Qin Hao happy. At the same time, he was panicking. He was happy that it wouldn't be long before he could reach the point on the map. What he was worried about was that when he finally reached the end, there would be no formation, and Feng Haikao and the others were not within the formation. Where is it? Or, something unexpected has happened. Qin Hao didn't dare to think about it, he could only bite the bullet and go on. Sometimes, he still has to face some things head on. One day later. According to the map, this should be where the Immortal Mansion is, how could it not be there? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 503. After a day's journey, Qin Hao finally broke through many obstacles and reached the top of the map, where the Immortal Mansion should have been. However, he did not see the formation here. Qin Hao felt sad in his heart and had to admit the fall of Feng Haikao. But now that I'm here, I can't come in vain. It is said that this Immortal Mansion was left by the Immortal, and it also possesses the Chaos spiritual treasure. Naturally, Qin Hao cannot let it go. But according to the map, it should be this place. Why is it so empty and empty? Qin Hao was confused and depressed. Suddenly, looking up, there was a loud roar on the empty land. At the same time, as if something was about to break out of the ground, the entire earth began to rise. Between the broken soil, a majestic palace rising thousands of feet high rose from the ground. As the towering palace grew taller and taller, Qin Hao could feel an inexplicable pressure, and his whole body was severely oppressed by the pressure of the towering palace. After the majestic palace was completed, Qin Hao saw a huge sword holding up the sky above the palace, like a relief sculpture. However, Qin Hao always felt that this sword was not a relief sculpture, but a real existence. The entire majestic palace is like a hornet's nest with hundreds of doors. The square palace is like a sleeping lion, lying quietly on the main hall, so majestic. Is this the Immortal Mansion? Qin Hao was shocked. The Immortal's mansion was indeed extraordinary. He glanced around and suddenly caught a glimpse of a stone tablet at the entrance of the hall, which was densely covered with inscriptions. Falling Demon Palace, there are 365 inheritance gates. Anyone who can get my inheritance can get a Chaos spiritual treasure. The Falling Demon Palace also has countless acquired spiritual treasures, countless innate spiritual treasures, countless secret techniques, and countless rare and refined materials. Those who are destined to enter my Falling Demon Palace can get them. When Qin Hao saw the inscription, he knew that the Immortal's mansion was called the Falling Demon Palace, but there were dozens of small characters below the inscription. I have traversed the world of cultivation for more than 1,000 years, slaying all the ancient demons and defeating all the monks. However, God does not help me, but I am jealous of my heavenly posture. A lifetime of fame will eventually be buried in the wilderness. After reading these dozens of small characters, Qin Hao suddenly realized that this so-called Immortal's mansion did not seem to be an immortal, but a monk. However, someone who dared to claim to have killed the ancient demons must have been a person from 3,000 years ago. Could it be that this person also participated in the demon-slaying battle? Kindness. Qin Hao frowned. No, this man claims to have killed all the ancient demons, defeated all the monks, and has the Chaos spiritual treasure flying sword. Is it him? Qin Hao suddenly woke up, but he thought of the leader who was said to provoke the demon-slaying war, the proud son of the immortal cultivator, Lian Changqing. Yes, this company Changqing has been silent since the demon-slaying battle. It turned out that he failed to overcome the tribulation, and the bones of a generation of genius were still buried in the Falling Demon Palace. Qin Hao was sighing in his heart, but he was also deeply moved. There are 365 inheritance gates, and there are countless treasures in them anyway. You can also try your luck in it. Qin Hao thought in his heart, but he chose it without any politeness. Door number 1 on the left, he flashed and was about to step in. Well. Before he stepped in, he felt a huge rebound force and was immediately bounced away. Restriction, but I was careless. Qin Hao frowned, but he knew that this door of inheritance was prohibited. It must be that even Changqing didn't want his inheritance to be too low, so he put up this prohibition and wanted to step in, but there was no. It is impossible to achieve a certain level of cultivation. This restriction is just a test of the cultivation level of the person who enters, and it is not very strong. Qin Hao tasted the magic power of Deluo in the early stage and easily broke the restriction. He estimated that this restriction is for the Tai stage monks to take the test. In the middle of the Nightwish Mountains, the Golden Immortal stage monks are arranged to take the test. It seems that this company Changqing has very high requirements for the talent and strength of its disciples. Qin Hao smiled slightly in his heart, but he understood. It is human nature to have high requirements for disciples' talents, but it is nothing. But thinking about the countless treasures in it, maybe if no one comes, only himself, can you rob all the treasures in the falling demon palace? I still remember that when I accepted the inheritance of the ancient demon, I vowed to defeat Lian Changqing. Now that Lian Changqing has fallen here, there is no need to defeat him. So all his treasures were taken away, and even his inheritance was taken away, so he has fulfilled his promise to defeat him. Qin Hao thought to himself, and stepped into the door of inheritance. 3 days ago, because of the news of the birth of the immortal mansion, all the major forces notified their clansmen. Suddenly all the forces couldn't sit still. Since the immortal mansion is indeed within the Nightwish Mountains, it cannot be missed. There are many ferocious beasts in the Nightwish Mountains, and a single force will definitely not be able to get through it. Immediately, in line with the principle of cooperation before struggle, all the major forces decided to jointly send out troops and dispatch their respective immortal armies. They went directly into the middle of the Nightwish Mountains and fought their way through to at least see the immortal mansion. After all, there were many people. The power is great. Immediately, the major forces agreed with each other to advance and retreat together before arriving at the immortal mansion, and they must not harm the collective interests. As for how to divide the immortal mansion, they will decide for themselves when they see the immortal mansion. So, each tribe and its 50 Deluo stage masters and 5 Hunyuan stage masters were sent out, led by the clan leaders of each clan. They marched as fast as possible along the map and arrived at the immortal mansion as soon as possible. Although each clan hid their strength, but even so, each tribe sent 50 Deluo stage masters and 5 Hunyuan stage masters. Such a huge team, dozens of Hunyuan stage masters and hundreds of Deluo stage masters combined, just a Nightwish. The outer reaches of the mountain range are nothing but massacres. The poor Nightwish mountain range is full of ferocious beasts below the golden immortal stage, but this time, countless have perished. Many monks also took the opportunity to catch demon pets. In the future, it was reserved for the use of his own people. It only took half a day to level a passage outside the Nightwish mountain range. After that, relying on the strength of the crowd, the army began to follow the route of the immortal mansion indicated on the map. Start moving towards the middle of the Nightwish Mountains. The middle part is full of ferocious beasts from the Great Luo stage and the Hunyuan stage, which are much stronger than the outer areas. Even so, although the human race is physically weak, they have always been good at patterns. They attacked in groups. Therefore, under the invincible formation of the human army, they had advanced half the distance in half a day. However, as time went by, the ferocious beasts became more and more powerful, and the human race also suffered heavy losses. The clan leaders were worried that an army of ferocious beasts would gather, so they decided to open a road with all their might, regardless of casualties. They tried to reach the immortal mansion before the army of ferocious beasts gathered. Once the human race goes all out, its strength is really unparalleled. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 504. At least the ferocious beasts were simply unstoppable under the invincible trend of the human race. Finally, after paying the price of nearly half of the monks dying, the army of monks finally broke through the encirclement of the ferocious beasts and marched toward the immortal mansion. Kindness. Looking at the majestic and huge palace, the monks and major forces who finally arrived one after another after many lives and deaths were moved. The mansion of an immortal must be extraordinary. There are words on this stone tablet. The monks stared at the stone tablet. Falling Demon Palace, there are 365 inheritance gates. Anyone who can get my inheritance can get a chaos spiritual treasure. The Falling Demon Palace also has countless acquired spiritual treasures, countless innate spiritual treasures, countless secret techniques, and countless rare and refined materials. Those who are destined to enter my Falling Demon Palace can get them. I have traversed the world of cultivation for more than 1,000 years, slaying all the ancient demons and defeating all the monks. However, God does not help me, but I am jealous of my heavenly posture. A lifetime of fame will eventually be buried in the wilderness. Which of these forces is not the top existence in the ancient world of Hunyuan dynasty, and they all have a lot of understanding of the demon-slaying battle 3,000 years ago. So after seeing this inscription, everyone understood that this chaos spiritual treasure was owned by Lian Changqing, the leader of the immortal cultivators 3,000 years ago. At this time, everyone also understood that the company Changqing had fallen in the Night Wishes mountain range. However, although it is not a blessed land for immortals, the world of cultivation 3,000 years ago was so prosperous. Even this company was evergreen, and its wealth was comparable to that of immortals. What's more, even Changqing himself said that not only does he have the chaos spiritual treasure and flying sword, he also has countless acquired spiritual treasures, innate spiritual treasures, rare treasures, spiritual stones, spiritual pills, secret techniques, etc. Think about it, besides magic pills and elixirs, the secret method is the most important. After a battle 3,000 years ago, the world of monks declined, countless sects disappeared, and countless secrets of cultivation disappeared. If it can really be passed down, it will definitely be a huge improvement for any clan. Fellow Taoists, since there are 365 doors in this place of inheritance, Senior Lian Changqing has made arrangements for us. It seems that the elders also thought that we would have entanglements over this, so they erected such stone monuments in order to give us all the opportunity to have a glimpse of the immortal mansion. The elder of the Ye family is shrewd. He knows that after leaving this immortal mansion today, everyone needs to work together to get out of the Night Wishes mountains. So how can he dare to let everyone kill each other? What's more, there are 365 doors, go enough for these monks to get treasures inside. But who gets the good treasure depends on chance and means. As soon as these words came out, it was deeply understood by everyone. They didn't want to go through all the hard work and come to this immortal mansion and die without even covering the magic weapon. After all, monks, to put it bluntly, are still a bunch of greedy people. Ordinary people in life. If it were not for eternal life and supreme power, how many people would truly cultivate for the sake of cultivation? This is very good. When the time comes, we will each have our own means in this immortal mansion, but large-scale fighting is prohibited, otherwise we and everyone will have to kill them together. Qin Yu also nodded in agreement. The Qin family has suffered a lot this time. If calculated, the Qin family's strength can only be regarded as mid-range among this group of big forces, and it is not yet able to gain the upper hand. Therefore, he is also worried that someone he would take the opportunity to attack them in the immortal mansion, but he said this to contain people with ulterior motives, such as the Ye family. Yes, what the Qin family said is very good. This is what we should do. If anyone dares to go to war and fight on a large scale, we must all work together to defeat him. Suddenly, many people considered that their own strength was not very strong, so they hugged the big tree of the Qin family tightly and expressed their deep agreement. Good. There are 365 inheritance gates. You can choose for yourself. If there are conflicts, please give in to each other. Compared to people like us, 365 inheritance gates are only a lot more. At that moment, all the monks came up with a shout and gathered around each other. They each chose the door of inheritance and were about to step in. Among them, the elder of the Ye family happened to choose the door number 1 on the left, but he was allowed to use his magic power however he wanted. But couldn't step in. He was confused, but he didn't know why. He wanted to explore, but everyone rushed to grab the treasure. No one would talk nonsense to him, and ignored him, entering the inheritance door one by one. After a bad look, everyone went in. In desperation, they had to give up this door, choose another one, and stepped in. In fact, of these 365 inheritance doors, each restriction can only transport one person. As for when the second person wants to enter, the restriction will become a death restriction. Unless the first person falls or comes out, how can he succeed? Qin Hao stepped into the falling demon palace, and the scene in front of him changed instantly. But it appeared in a long and narrow passage. The end of the passage was extremely winding, and even Qin Hao himself could not see what was at the end. Everyone in the world loves wealth, sex, and power, and monks all love magic weapons, skills, and rare treasures. That's why people in the world have a saying of rising to the top. And I, as a monk, should also have Qingyun, for the Qingyun road. I have always believed that there are only a few cultivators in the world who are truly obsessed with the Tao, and the most essential thing that cultivators pursue is nothing more than power and status. Therefore, this Qingyun road is a road of no return. You can only keep moving forward. No matter you stop or go backwards, you will be destroyed instantly. Qingyun road, whether to step on the tower or not, to take it or not to take it, is all in your mind. Qin Hao had just stepped into the so-called Qingyun road of the falling demon palace, and heard a long sigh in the main hall, full of vicissitudes and temptations. It seemed desolate and sad, and the taste was beyond words. This voice must have come from that Lian Changqing stayed. Strange to say, this man is the leader of the immortal cultivators. However, after the demon-slaying battle, his personality changed drastically, and his whole person became both good and evil. When he died, he left a legacy, but also weird. But Qin Hao also understood that this Qingyun road is a road of no return, and there are magic treasures at the end of the road. But once he sets foot on this Qingyun road, he cannot look back or stay, otherwise the company commander Qing must have left some means to kill the inheritors. This must be training, haha, today I, Qin Hao, will take a trip. Qin Hao is not a fool. Although this company Changqing said that he can choose to go or not to go. But generally speaking, these weird-tempered monks have only two outcomes. Those who give up halfway will die. Failure. Only those who succeed can survive. What's more, Qin Hao has many ways to save his life, but he is not afraid of this mere test. At that moment, he did not hesitate and stepped out, embarking on the so-called road of no return. Qingyun Road. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 505. As soon as he stepped on it, Qin Hao understood why Qingyun Road was the road of no return, because the entire Qingyun Road was covered with various phantom formations, specifically designed to seduce a person's inner demons, and under his feet was the blazing flame like purgatory. If Qin Hao's guess was correct, the company Changqing actually used sky fire to pave the foot of Qingyun Road, and the temperature was shockingly high. And with every step the temperature increases, the power of the illusion becomes stronger and stronger. Even though Qin Hao's cultivation level reached the sky and his physical body surpassed the acquired spiritual treasure, he still felt extremely painful. But his will is so determined. Although Qingyun Road was powerful at the beginning, it was still lagging behind compared to the various death disasters he suffered in the Sea of Death. Therefore, Qin Hao could still withstand this Qingyun Road, which was used by Lian Changqing to test his will. Qingyun Road is like a staircase, with 365 steps going up. Every time you step on a level, your power increases by 1 point. If you step on the 81st level, you can get an acquired spiritual treasure flying sword. If you step on the 208th level, you can get an innate spiritual treasure flying sword. At the 65th level, one can directly obtain the Tuoshan Pagoda, one of the 3 heavenly weapons in the Falling Demon Palace, second only to the Chaos spiritual treasure flying sword. However, Qin Hao was determined, passed the 81st level, and easily took the acquired Lingbao flying sword. 200 steps. Level 201. Level 202. Level 207. Level 208. I have to say that this Qingyun Road is really powerful. When Qin Hao stepped onto the 208th level, he found that his will had almost reached its limit. Even this feeling was not much different from the past between life and death. But his will at the moment was much stronger than before, so he was able to hold on. Qingyun Road, what kind of perseverance does Lian Changqing want to find? Qin Hao stared at the Qingyun Road above the 208th level, but hesitated. Although this Qingyun Road cannot be stopped, even Changqing is not completely merciless. As long as he steps on any of the 3 levels, you can choose whether to continue walking or to leave the inheritance place. It may be to leave the inheritance of the immortal mansion, or it may be randomly inherited to other places. Qingyun Road has 365 levels, and Qin Hao is proud of himself. His perseverance is estimated to last until around the 260th level. This company, Changqing, wants to find a successor, but it is so demanding. At least Qin Hao thinks that there is really someone in the world who can step on it. This 365 level Qingyun Road is completely abnormal. Even Qin Hao has a hard time believing that such a person exists. In fact, it is not so simple for Lian Changqing to set up this Qingyun Road. Hey! Xiao Qinzi, what are you doing here? Qin Hao was hesitating when Xiaobai suddenly jumped out of the storage space. Qin Hao was puzzled when he suddenly felt a pain in his foot and subconsciously raised his foot to step on. Boom! What a coincidence! We are stepping on the 208th step. Xiaobai, you! Qin Hao was very angry, but he didn't expect that at this juncture, Xiaobai would suddenly give him a boost, forcing him to face the higher level Qingyun Road. Xiao Qinzi, I think that the illusion of death was not at your feet for you to step on. Why is this small Qingyun Road so daunting to you? Get on it quickly. How can a mere company, Changqing, do anything to you? Xiaobai didn't take it seriously. His words seemed like those of a ruffian, but Qin Hao was slightly startled. His feet kept moving, but his mind was full of thoughts. Yes. His cultivation has grown so fast since that death illusion, but this paragraph time has passed. Since I came out of the death illusion and became the elder of the Qin family, I seem to have slacked off a little, and my cultivation progress is not as good as before. Power corrupts people, and I didn't expect that I couldn't avoid it. Hey! Gently. Sighing and looking at Xiaobai gratefully, Qin Hao took 1 step forward without stopping, and walked towards the Qingyun Road. Letting the pain torment in his heart, with Qin Hao's will, there is no limit. Even, we have reached the limit, who can say that we will not break through? Qin Hao followed suit step by step on the Qingyun Road. On the other side, major forces swarmed into the Gate of Inheritance, and each had their own test. Some were afraid of falling after the test. So he withdrew, and was killed directly. Some who failed the challenge were also killed. Suddenly, dozens of monks who originally numbered in the hundreds fell again. Maybe in the future, a group of monks will die again. And while Qin Hao and others were accepting the inheritance, 4 young monks also quietly submerged into the Nightwish Mountains. Strangely enough, these 4 monks were clearly only at the peak of the Golden Immortal stage. However, as soon as they stepped into the Nightwish Mountains, they were completely different from the previous major forces, even Qin Hao and others. Those ferocious beasts seemed to be afraid of them, and they actually stayed away from them. If the Golden Immortal, the ferocious beasts from the Deluo stage and Hunyuan stage were just as good as this, but the 4 of them stepped into the middle area unscrupulously. When the ferocious beasts from the Deluo stage and Hunyuan stage saw them, they also looked very scared and dodged away. "Boss, you said that we were ordered by Master and the others this time to open a heritage mansion in the Nightwish Mountains and let us come here for a trial. Whose mansion is it?" The young man who seems to be the youngest among the 4 has a puzzled face. The young man leading the group is around 20 years old. Although he is still immature, his face is calm and serious, but he looks very mature. Road. It is said that it was left by Lian Changqing, the leader of the monks in the ancient world of Hunyuan dynasty, who fought against demons 3,000 years ago. No matter what, there are a lot of magic weapons inside, and training in it can make our cultivation level grow as quickly as possible. When the time comes, one day we will fight back. When mentioning the matter of revenge, the 4 young men pondered at the same time, showing their perseverance. Why? Lao Wu has stepped into the illusion of death, and I don't know how he is doing now. I wonder if he knows what we are now. Hey. The youngest young man sighed slightly, as if he remembered some good memories. Well, no matter what, the opening of Senior Lian Changqing's inheritance mansion will definitely shock the entire Hunyuan ancient world. When the time comes, all the major forces will target the chaos spiritual treasure, and I'm afraid it won't be too easy. The young doctor headed by him pondered, but his brows were furrowed. It's strange to say, how could the Qingyang sect be so stupid as to reveal such a holy land? Do they think that even the monks in the Hunyuan ancient realm can't get what the Qingyang sect can't get? This is causing great harm to our Liu Yun sect. I'm afraid it will be difficult to get benefits from this inheritance place again. I'm afraid it's not that simple. The Qingyang sect is very ambitious. If you ask me, they just want to use this place to provoke the Hunyuan ancient world, and then take advantage of it. Our Liu Yun sect is not defeated so easily. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 506. After thousands of years of checks and balances, is it possible that Liu Yun sect is so worthless in their eyes? Okay, brothers, stop arguing, we can't even resolve our own grievances now, let alone take care of other things. Yes, it's better to go to the inheritance place as soon as possible. Well, it's so murderous. Someone has massacred here before. Is it difficult to understand that they are those monks from the Hunyuan ancient realm? Yes, they must have forced their way in, but they were able to get the upper hand. I just hope there is still a door to inheritance. Hey, big brother, second brother and third brother, come quickly, there is a formation here, a magic formation. Hearing the young man's words, the 3 young Taoists hurried over. This was the formation left by Senior Lian Changqing. Unexpectedly, it was broken by someone. Who actually has such ability? If it were us, I'm afraid. Boom. The 4 young Taoists were obviously familiar with the formation, and they broke it open instantly. Hey, this is Master Feng Haikao, Master Feng Haikao, I never expected that I would meet him again here. It's okay, it's okay. Master, he is fine. Second, third, and fourth, please protect my master, and I will clear the way. Master doesn't have the jade metal of our Liu Yun sect on his body. I'm afraid those monsters won't buy it. You surround Master and don't let the monsters get close. The young man headed by him was filled with surprises and bitterness. I didn't expect that I, Xiao Chen, would meet my master here. My old friend is here, and I don't know how Lao Wu is doing. Hey, Qian Long Mountain and Jian Qin, I will kill them back sooner or later. Clenching his fists, there was hatred in the young man's eyes. It turned out that these four young people were none other than Xiao Chen Wenzhong, Yuntian, and Su Ming, who were being chased by Qian Long Mountain. However, the four of them fled, and unexpectedly found another one. Having an unexpected encounter is also a trick of fate. This time when all the brothers get together, I don't know what it will be like. Boss, we are going to enter the immortal mansion for a trial. What should Master, the old man, do? I see that his old man is seriously injured and someone needs to take care of him. Su Ming and the others protected Feng Haikao in the middle. There were monsters that were about to move from their side. However, the three of them had expressions on their faces. Those monsters seemed to have seen a ghost and hurriedly scared them away. Well, second, third, and fourth, this time I will protect Master while you go in for the trial. Xiao Chen's heart moved, but he couldn't change it. Naturally, he couldn't leave his mentor alone, but what kind of trial? How is this possible? Boss, don't forget, you are the only one among the four of us who is almost able to break through the Du De Luo stage. If you give up this opportunity, you will have to wait for 2 years. I will stay and you will go to the trial. Wen Zhong rushed to say. This trial is of great benefit to them, and Xiao Chen is on the verge of a breakthrough. Everyone believes that Xiao Chen will definitely break through after experiencing this trial. Otherwise, Xiao Chen will break through. I really want to give up. Breaking through to the De Luo stage is not so easy. At least this opportunity is gone, and you have to wait a long time. Yes, boss, don't forget that the four of us brothers have unavenged revenge. If you don't break through, when will we have the chance to take revenge? This time I will stay to take care of Master, and you go to the trial. As soon as Yun Tian said this, Xiao Chen became cruel. As Yun Tian said, if their brothers want to successfully revenge, someone must take the first step and then resist for them, so that they can make rapid progress in the future. And Xiao Chen, then this is the mainstay, we must not delay it. Good brother, I understand. Xiao Chen was also decisive and knew that he could not hesitate. Second child and fourth child, you go with me to the trial, while the third child stays here to take care of the master. Immediately, the three of them went to the majestic falling demon palace not far away, while Yuntian stayed to take care of Feng Haikao. Xiao Chen decisively asked Yuntian to stay and take care of Feng Haikao, while he and Wenzhong Su Ming the man stepped back to the falling demon palace again, and was about to go to the falling demon palace for a trial. On the other hand, Qin Hao on Qingyun Road never imagined that his four former brothers had already arrived at the same place as him, but it is still unclear whether they are reunited by fate. At least now, Qin Hao really has no distracting thoughts, and his whole will has been stretched to the limit. 256th floor. 257th floor. Qin Hao step by step he was climbing the Qingyun Road, and now every step he took seemed to consume a huge amount of his strength. It was really difficult. Qin Hao had predicted before that with his strong willpower, he would face the ever-increasing Qingyun. The road will collapse at the 260th floor. Now it is approaching the 260th floor, and Qin Hao's willpower is about to reach its limit. At this moment, Qin Hao only feels that his consciousness is still swelling, as if he is about to. It was like an explosion. It was extremely uncomfortable. He wanted to faint in pain. Every time he took a step, he would be crumbling. But he knew what the consequences would be if he fell or stopped. Although Xiaobai had said that he would save him life. But masters like Lian Changqing are masters who are just waiting to ascend. No one can guarantee what his methods will be. So Qin Hao is not sure about Xiaobai. Moreover, Qin Hao does not want to fail. He was in the illusion of death. So difficult, he survived. Even several times, he was about to die, but the terrifying will still supported him. Therefore, Qin Hao did not want to give up, nor was he willing to give up. He firmly believed that he would succeed. Breaking through the limit, for him, it's not a matter of once or twice. Could he be stuck at this time? No, hold on, you must hold on. To live for those you want to protect. Qin Hao was struggling and in pain in his heart, but he insisted on not letting himself stop or fainting. The 260th floor. He lifted his next foot, as if he had no strength. Qin Hao roared in his heart. Qin Hao, you still have people to protect, you must not fall. Remember, you are not fighting alone, you represent the ones you love and the people who love you. Bang! Stepping down with solid steps, Qin Hao finally broke through his limit and stood on the 261st floor. But so what if he broke through, without the strength for the next step? Failure is failure after all. But Qin Hao knew that he had not failed. He had just left behind something, a treasure to hold the sky tower. And what he had earned back was a breakthrough to the limit. He firmly believed that this breakthrough of will would improve his cultivation in the future. There will be a huge breakthrough. Even Xiaobai is ready. Waiting for the fatal blow from Lian Changqing, he must protect Qin Hao. Time seems to stand still here at this moment. Unexpected, it was earth-shattering, and there was no bloody disaster as imagined. Qin Hao suddenly realized that the 262nd floor seemed different. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 507. Yes, it's different. It seemed so easy, he just stepped out so naturally. Is this still the 262nd floor? Qin Hao was confused in his heart, but he didn't dare to stop. He still took one step forward. Just like the 262nd floor, this floor is still so casual, as if he didn't use any effort, just a movement of lifting his foot. Then he could successfully step on it. Qin Hao didn't know what was going on, but he knew that if nothing unexpected happened, the road ahead would be so easy. Therefore, he did not hesitate. If the opportunity came, he would seize it. Without the pressure of his will and the pain of his body, Qin Hao walked up safely and naturally, all the way to the 365th level, and stretched out his hand to take out the golden holding tower. Boom! 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 With the whole Qingyun Road was shaking. In fact, the whole hall was shaking. What's going on? What happened? Is it an earthquake? Everyone who received the inheritance in the falling demon hall was shaken one by one, and the one who had just stepped into the falling demon palace, Yao Chen, and the three people who inherited the palace were also puzzled. At this moment, a vast voice came into everyone's minds: the second most precious treasure of the falling demon palace, the heavenly tower, has changed its owner. What? Tuoshan Tower has changed owners, and someone has walked on Qingyun Road. Everyone was shocked, and the expressions of Xiao Chen and the other two people also changed drastically, and they were extremely surprised. If it is the first time for everyone to participate in the inheritance, it is easy to say that they don't know much about it, but Xiao Chen and the other three people have been to this inheritance place 3 times. For this, even the inheritance of Senior Changqing, the entire Liu Yun sect and Qingyang sect, I don't know how many times I have been here. The first treasure of the falling demon palace, the Taigzu sword, is the chaos spiritual treasure flying sword, and the second treasure of the heavenly tower is waiting for the four great treasures. No one has ever been able to touch them. Just because the inheritance of these four great treasures is known as the most difficult inheritance. Xiao Chen of Qingyun Road once tried it, and he once stepped into the 81st level. Although it is still there was room for improvement, but he knew that his limit was at the 170th level, so he did not dare to try again or risk his own life. But the entire Liu Yun sect and Qingyang sect have a 1,000-year inheritance. And no one has ever been able to set foot on the 365th floor of Qingyun Road. At least as far as he knew, the most powerful senior only stepped onto the 244th floor and then died. This is also a limit in Liu Yun sect and Qingyang sect. So Xiao Chen never thought that anyone could reach it, let alone these monks from the Hunyuan ancient world who came for the first time. But now there is news from the falling demon palace that someone after getting the Toshan tower, that means he has passed Qingyun Road. What kind of person is this? Xiao Chen was shocked, but he seemed to have a goal. In the past, he thought Qingyun Road was just a legend, but today someone did it. It was like giving him a hope, letting him see that many things are not illusory and can still be achieved. So Xiao Chen suddenly gained motivation and confidence. He suddenly wanted to see who this person was, and actually with such ability. As for the rest of the people, they are greedy and work even harder, lest someone else grabs the first treasure by taking the lead. It's ridiculous, but they don't know that for thousands of years, Qingyang sect has I have tried countless times with Liu Yun section. Unless he is a monster like Qin Hao, how can he be so easily obtained by them? Everyone has a lot of thoughts in their minds, but Qin Hao is immersed in the thoughts in the Tuoshan Tower at this moment. Among them, Qingyun Road is a combination of will and strength. People with strength naturally have strong wills, but people with strong wills also have their limits. If you want to pass Qingyun Road, you can only pass it if you have a strong will. You must also have the opportunity and strength to break through your own limits. Congratulations, you have obtained my most precious treasure, the Sky Tower. It turns out that Qingyun Road is like this. The seemingly crazy behavior of this company Changqing turns out to have such profound meaning. He is indeed a strange person, and he is worthy of being the person who can preside over the demon-slaying war. Qin Hao sighed in his heart. As soon as he took the Tuoshan pagoda in his hand, before he had time to refine it, the stairs of Qingyun Road suddenly collapsed, turned into dots of green light, and disappeared into the void. A little bit of Qingyun pendant. From now on, there will be no Qingyun Road in the falling demon palace. Destined person, you still have a chance now. You can choose whether to continue the challenge or not. The reward for the next level is the god-killing halberd, the third most precious heavenly weapon of the fallen demon palace. Well, Qin Hao was full of confidence, put the Tiantu tower into the storage space, and said yes, continue the challenge. In an instant, the void condensed again, but it turned into a world of fire. Only flames in the world can bring light. However, people also know that this flame is also a very powerful killing weapon. Ordinary fire can kill people, and samadhi can kill people. Fire can kill, sky fire can kill, and dazzling sky fire can kill. However, flames kill people, and they are always tangible and traceable. And there is a special kind of flame in this world, which is invisible and colorless, and only exists in thoughts, which is called karma. Fire. Fire of karma kills people. It is invisible and colorless. If the fire of karma passes by, demons will arise in the mind and the mind will be confused. From now on, the cultivator of immortality will not be able to be pure. Please follow the fire and become a demon and die. In severe cases, the fire of karma will burn the body, and both body and soul will be destroyed. So, this level is also called burning one's body in the flames of karma. Qin Hao listened quietly to the voice's narration without any emotion. Destined person, Now you still have the opportunity to choose to continue or quit. If you want to exit, just turn around and walk out of the door. If you want a challenge, spontaneously step into the sea of fire. Stepping into the sea of fire, is the sea of fire the fire of karma? No, the fire of karma is invisible and colorless, but this sea of fire is red, just like the true fire of samadhi, so naturally it cannot be the fire of karma. So what is going on with the so-called fire of karma that burns the body? Qin Hao's heart confused, he is not a reckless person. Although he is fearless, he will not blindly die. I choose to leave. Qin Hao flashed his figure and pretended to leave. Wait a minute, destined person, aren't you afraid that you will die if you choose to leave? The voice was obviously surprised that a man as determined as Qin Hao could make such a decision. I think a master like Senior would never break his promise. What's more, I don't know why this karma is burning my body. Although the god-killing halberd is good, I still have to live. Sometimes, you have to fight. But sometimes, when it's time to retreat, retreat, otherwise you'll end up in a dead end. After Qin Hao finished speaking, the voice murmured to himself, if you retreat, retreat. If you have to retreat, then retreat. If I had such a big heart at the beginning, why would I? Okay, you stay, you have such a big heart, you will definitely be able to pass this level. Moreover, I want to tell you that if you can secure the 3 treasures under my control, you will be qualified to take the first treasure, the Tegzu sword. Back then, I was able to defeat the ancient demonic path with the Tegzu sword.